If you're finding this message on October 16th, 2025, you need to understand something right now. This is not a coincidence. This is not random. This is not the algorithm accidentally serving you this content. You were meant to find this. Your higher self orchestrated this moment. Your spirit guides led you here. The universe moved heaven and earth to make sure these 7 truths reached you on this specific day, because what I'm about to tell you will change everything. October 16th is not just another day. It's a cosmic marker, a spiritual checkpoint, a moment when the veils between dimensions are so thin that divine messages can come through with crystal clarity. And you, chosen one, you have been selected to receive 7 specific truths today. 7 pieces of information that your soul has been waiting to hear. 7 revelations that will unlock doors you didn't even know were closed. 7 keys that will activate something within you that's been dormant, waiting for this exact moment. But here's what makes this so urgent, so critical, so time-sensitive. These 7 truths can only be received on October. The energetic conditions of this day create a window, a brief opening, where your consciousness is aligned in such a way that you can not only hear these messages, but actually integrate them at the deepest level. Tomorrow, October 17th, that window closes. The alignment shifts, and while you might still be able to read these words, they won't land the same way. They won't activate what they're meant to activate. They won't catalyze what they're meant to catalyze. This is why the timing is so important. This is why you finding this message today, on October 16th, specifically, is evidence of divine orchestration. You're reading this right now because you're ready, because you've done the work, because you've survived everything that was meant to prepare you for this moment. And now the universe is ready to give you the final pieces of the puzzle, the missing keys, the 7 truths that will make everything else make sense. I know you've been feeling something building, maybe for days, maybe for weeks, maybe for your entire life. A sense that something important is coming, that you're on the verge of understanding something massive, that you're about to step into a new level of consciousness and capability. That feeling has been your soul, recognizing what your mind couldn't yet perceive. October 16th was always coming. This moment was always written into your timeline, and these 7 truths were always meant to find you. Before we dive into what these 7 truths are, I need you to acknowledge this moment. This is sacred. This is significant. This is the kind of moment you'll look back on years from now and recognize as a turning point. Drop "I am ready" in the comments if you're prepared to receive what you were meant to hear. Let the universe know you're conscious, you're present, you're open to the activation that's about to occur. And understand this: what you're about to receive isn't just information. These aren't just interesting spiritual concepts to add to your knowledge base. These are activation codes. Each of the 7 truths carries a frequency that will literally rewire something in your consciousness. As you read each one, as you take it in, as you allow it to land in your awareness, something shifts, something opens, something that was locked becomes unlocked, something that was dormant becomes active. You've been chosen to receive this on October 16th because you're ready for what comes next, because your mission is about to accelerate, because the universe needs you operating at full capacity, with all your gifts activated, with all your blocks cleared, with all your power accessible. These 7 truths are the final preparation before you step into the next chapter of your journey, a chapter that will make everything you've done so far look like the prologue. Are you ready? Because once you receive these 7 truths, once they activate what they're meant to activate, there's no going back. You can't unknow what you're about to know. You can't return to the version of yourself that existed before October 16th. This is the point of no return, the threshold you've been approaching your entire life, and you're finally here. Let's begin. The first truth you were meant to hear on October 16th is this: you've already won. Not "you're going to win if you do everything right." Not "you might win if you're lucky." You've already won. The victory you've been fighting for, praying for, working toward, it already exists. It's already accomplished in higher dimensions. Your future self has already achieved everything you're currently striving for. And on October 16th, the veil is thin enough that you can feel that truth. You can access that knowing. You can begin operating from victory rather than striving for victory. This is a radical shift in consciousness that most people never make. They spend their entire lives fighting, struggling, trying to achieve, trying to prove themselves, trying to earn their worth or their success. But you, chosen one, you're being given access to a higher perspective today. From where your higher self stands, from where the universe sees your timeline, the battle is already over. You won. The question isn't whether you'll succeed. The question is how quickly you'll align with the version of reality where your success is already manifest. Think about what this means practically. If you've already won, then everything you're experiencing right now, the challenges, the obstacles, the setbacks, they're not threats to your victory. They're just the final scenes of a story where you already know the ending. They're the last bits of resistance before reality catches up with what's already true in higher dimensions. You can stop fighting so hard. You can stop being so afraid of failure. You can stop second-guessing yourself because the outcome is already determined and it's in your favor. This truth activates something in your energy field. It removes the frequency of desperation, of striving, of I have to make this happen or else, and it replaces it with the frequency of certainty, of knowing, of it's already done. I'm just watching it unfold. That shift in frequency is everything, because when you're operating from I've already won, you make different choices, you take different actions, you show up with different energy, and paradoxically, by releasing the desperate need to win, you actually allow the victory to manifest fast. On October 16th, this truth is available to you in a way it hasn't been before. The energetic conditions of this day create a portal where you can actually feel your future self, where you can access the timeline where you've already succeeded, where you can bring that knowing back into your present moment. Close your eyes right now, take a deep breath, and feel it. Feel the version of you that's already living your dream life, that's already accomplished your mission, that's already become everything you're meant to be. That's not fantasy, that's not wishful thinking, that's reality in a higher dimension. And October 16th is the day you can finally access. The second truth you were meant to hear today is about your sensitivity, your empathy, your ability to feel everything so deeply. You've probably been told your entire life that you're too sensitive, that you need to toughen up, that you feel too much. And maybe you've believed, maybe you've tried to harden yourself, to build walls, to become less affected by the world around you. But on October 16th, the universe is telling you the opposite. Your sensitivity is your superpower. It's not a flaw. It's not a weakness. It's not something you need to overcome or fix or apologize for. It's your gift. It's your medicine. It's the very thing that makes you capable of the work you came here to do. Your sensitivity means you can feel what others can't feel. You can sense energy. You can pick up on unspoken truth. You can walk into a room and know immediately what's really happening beneath the surface. You can look at someone and see their pain even when they're smiling. You can feel the collective shifts before they manifest physically. This isn't a curse. This is advanced spiritual technology built into your system. The world needs people who feel deeply in an age where so many have numbed themselves. The collective needs empaths who can sense what's happening in the collective consciousness and respond with compassion. Humanity needs sensitive souls who haven't hardened themselves to suffering, who can still be moved by beauty, who can still feel the pain of others without becoming cynical or bitter. But here's the part that's activating on October. You're learning how to be sensitive without being overwhelmed. You're learning how to feel deeply without absorbing everything. You're learning how to be empathic without losing yourself in others' emotions. This is the evolution of your gift, from sensitivity that drains you to sensitivity that empowers you, from empathy that depletes you to empathy that actually enhances your own energy because you're channeling it rather than absorbing. On October 16th, you're being given the final upgrade to your empathic abilities. You're learning how to feel without taking on, how to sense without merging, how to be compassionate without being codependent. This is mastery level empathy, and it's activating in you today because you're ready for it, because your mission requires it, because you can't do what you came here to do without this level of skill. The third truth, hitting your consciousness on October 16th, addresses one of the deepest wounds many chosen ones carry, the belief that you're behind, that you're late, that you should be further along by now. You look at others, and they seem to have it all figured out. They're achieving things you haven't achieved, they're ahead of where you are, and you wonder, what's wrong with me? Why am I so far behind? But October 16th brings the truth. You're not behind. You have never been behind. Behind relative to what? Behind relative to who? Behind relative to some arbitrary timeline that was never yours to begin with. The entire concept of being behind is an illusion, a trap, a lie that keeps you feeling inadequate instead of recognizing that you're exactly where you need to be. Every detour you've taken was actually the path. Every delay was actually divine timing. Every moment that felt like you were going backward was actually you being repositioned for something better. The universe hasn't been punishing you with delay. It's been protecting you from opportunities you weren't ready for, relationships that would have derailed you, successes that would have come before you had the character to sustain them. You're not behind. You're being strategically positioned like pieces on a cosmic chessboard. You've been moved into exactly the right place for exactly the right moment, and that moment is arriving now. Everything you've been through, everywhere you've been, everyone you've met, every experience you've had, it was all preparing you for what's coming next. And if any of it had happened differently, if any of the delays hadn't occurred, you wouldn't be ready for what you're about to step into. October 16th activates the knowing that divine timing is perfect timing. It removes the frequency of I'm not where I should be and replaces it with I'm exactly where I need to be. And that shift is profound, because when you stop believing you're behind, you stop operating from lack and start operating from trust. You stop chasing and start receiving. You stop forcing and start allowing. The fourth truth landing in your awareness today is about the loneliness you've felt, the isolation you've experienced, the sense of being different, separate, misunderstood. You've wondered why you can't seem to connect with people the way they connect with each other, why your circle has gotten smaller, why you feel like an alien in your own life. October 16th brings the revelation. Your isolation wasn't loneliness, it was initiation. It was a sacred withdrawal from the noise of the world, so you could hear the whisper of your soul. It was a necessary separation from collective consciousness, so you could develop your own consciousness. It was a period of going inward, because the answers you needed couldn't be found in any external source. Every spiritual master, throughout history, has had their wilderness period, their time of isolation, their dark night of the soul, where they were alone, processing, transforming, becoming who they needed to become. You've been going through your version of this, and what felt like abandonment was actually preparation. What felt like loneliness was actually sacred solitude. What felt like being forgotten was actually being refined. The people who left your life weren't meant to stay. The friendships that faded weren't failures, they were completion. Those connections served a purpose for a season, and when that purpose was fulfilled, they naturally dissolved. Trying to hold on to them would have been like trying to stay in kindergarten when you're ready for graduate school. And the times you felt completely alone, even in a crowded room, that wasn't because no one cared about you. It was because you were being recalibrated to a frequency that most people around you weren't operating on yet. You were being attuned to a different channel, receiving different information, seeing different truths, and that created natural separation until you found your soul tribe, the people who operate on your frequency, who will understand you without explanation. On October 16th, you're being told the isolation period is ending. The initiation is complete. What's coming next is community, but not the kind you had before. Soul family, divine assignments disguised as friendship. People who will recognize you, support you, collaborate with you, celebrate you, and walk beside you as you step into your purpose. The fifth truth you're meant to integrate on October 16th is about reframing your entire story. Every hardship you've endured, every trauma you've survived, every moment of pain and confusion, You've been carrying these experiences as evidence of something wrong with you, as proof that you're cursed or unlucky or being punished. But today, October 16th, the universe is showing you a different interpretation. Your struggles were preparation, not punishment. You weren't being punished with difficult experiences. You were being prepared for an extraordinary mission. The universe doesn't send easy paths to souls who are here to do easy things. It doesn't give comfortable journeys to the ones who are meant to break cycles, heal generations, shift consciousness, and anchor new frequencies on this planet. You've been through what you've been through because you're being trained for something that requires immense strength, profound wisdom, and unshakable resilience. Every betrayal taught you discernment. Every loss taught you what truly matters. Every failure taught you humility and perseverance. Every moment of rock bottom revealed reserves of strength you didn't know you possessed. Every experience of being underestimated became fuel for your determination. Every time you were told you couldn't, you proved you could. All of it was curriculum. All of it was training. All of it was making you into the spiritual warrior you needed to become. On October 16th, you're being asked to transmute your story from victimhood to victory. To look at your life, not through the lens of, look at everything that happened to me, but through the lens of, look at everything that prepared me. This isn't about toxic positivity or bypassing your pain. This is about recognizing that your pain had purpose. Your struggle had meaning. Your journey, as difficult as it's been, was perfectly designed to forge you into exactly who you need to be for what's coming next. This truth activates alchemical transformation within you. It takes the lead of your trauma and transmutes it into the gold of your wisdom. It takes the wounds you've been carrying as burdens and transforms them into metal you can offer others. It takes your mess and turns it into your message. And this transformation is what makes you truly powerful. Not power that comes from never being broken, but power that comes from being broken and choosing to rebuild yourself stronger. The sixth truth, arriving in your consciousness on October 16th, challenges a belief system you might not even realize you're operating from. The belief that the universe is against you, that life is hard, that you have to fight for everything, that nothing comes easily, that you're swimming upstream while everyone else flows downstream. But October 16th brings a revelation that will change everything. The universe is conspiring for you, not against you. Every single thing that happens in your life, even the things that look like obstacles, even the things that feel like setbacks, even the things that seem like bad luck, is actually working in your favor. The universe is on your side, always has been, always will be. That door that closed wasn't rejection, it was redirection towards something better. That relationship that ended wasn't failure. It was protection from a future that wouldn't have served you. That opportunity that fell through wasn't bad luck, it was divine timing saying, not this, not now. Something better is coming. Everything that's ever happened to you, every twist and turn of your journey, has been the universe guiding you, protecting you, preparing you for your ultimate good. But you can't see this when you're in victim consciousness, when you're interpreting everything through the lens of why is this happening to me. October 16th shifts you into victor consciousness, where you start asking, what is this preparing me for, or how is this serving my highest good, even if I can't see it yet. This shift in perspective is everything, because when you truly believe the universe is for you, you stop resisting what is. You stop fighting reality. You start trusting the process, even when you can't see the outcome. This truth activates a deep relaxation in your system. The constant vigilance, the perpetual bracing for the next bad thing, the exhausting need to control everything, it all softens. Because when you know the universe has your back, when you trust that everything is working for your benefit, you can finally exhale, you can finally rest, you can finally surrender, not into defeat, but into trust. We've arrived at the seventh and final truth. you were meant to hear on October 16th. And this one is the most challenging, the most confronting, and the most liberating. Here it is. It's time to stop hiding and start shining. You've been playing small, dimming your light, hiding your gifts, downplaying your abilities, making yourself less than you are to make others comfortable. And maybe you've had good reasons for this. Maybe every time you've shined, you've been attacked, criticized, or made to feel like you were too much. But October 16th is the day the universe says, no more hiding, no more shrinking, no more playing small, no more dimming your light to fit into spaces that were never designed for someone like you. The world needs what only you can offer. The people you're meant to serve need your full brightness, not your dimmed-down version. Your mission requires all of you. All your power, all your gifts, all your light. You've been hiding because you were afraid of being seen, afraid of being judged, afraid of being rejected, afraid of being too much, afraid of outshining others, afraid of success as much as failure, afraid that if people really saw you, really knew you, they'd discover you're not as special as they think, or they'd discover you're more powerful than they're comfortable with. But fear has been your cage, and October 16th is the day you're being given the key. The activation happening in you today is removing the blocks to your visibility, to your voice, to your power. You're being downloaded with a level of courage you haven't accessed before. You're being infused with permission, divine permission, to take up space, to be seen, to be heard, to be fully yourself, without apology. Here's what you need to understand. The people who are threatened by your light aren't your people. The spaces where you have to shrink to fit aren't your spaces. The relationships where you have to hide your truth aren't your relationships. When you start shining fully, yes, some people will leave, some relationships will end, some opportunities will close. But that's not loss, that's liberation. Because what's leaving isn't aligned, and it's creating space for what is aligned to enter. And here's the beautiful part. When you stop hiding and start shining, you give everyone else permission to do the same. Your visibility becomes an invitation. Your authenticity becomes a beacon. Your willingness to be fully yourself becomes the light that guides others home to themselves. This is the ripple effect of your courage. It doesn't just change your life, it changes every life you touch. On October 16th, you're being activated into your full power. No more half-stepping. No more hiding your light under a bushel. No more waiting for permission that you're now giving yourself. It's time. Your time. The world has been waiting for you. Your people have been looking for you. Your mission has been calling you. And you're finally ready to answer. You've received the 7 truths. You've let them land in your consciousness. You felt the activation beginning. So what happens now? What do you do with this information? How do you integrate what you've been given on October 16th? First, understand that integration takes time. These truths aren't just intellectual concepts you can understand and move on from. They're activation codes that are rewiring your consciousness at the deepest level. Over the coming days and weeks, you'll notice shifts. Beliefs you've held for years will suddenly dissolve. Patterns you've repeated forever will suddenly break. Doors you've been knocking on will suddenly open. People you've been waiting for will suddenly appear. The key is to stay conscious during this integration period. Notice what's changing. Pay attention to synchronicities. Listen to your intuition more than ever before. You've been activated on October 16th, and now you're operating at a new frequency. Trust that frequency. Follow it. Let it guide you even when the path doesn't make logical sense. Second, honor what you've received by taking action. These 7 truths aren't meant to just sit in your awareness. They're meant to change your behavior. If you've already won, start operating from victory instead of desperation. If your sensitivity is your superpower, stop apologizing for feeling deeply and start wielding it as the gift it is. If you're not behind, stop rushing through life trying to catch up to some imaginary finish line. If your isolation was initiation, trust the wisdom it gave you and stop seeking validation from those who couldn't understand your journey. If your struggles prepared you, step boldly into what they prepared you for, instead of hiding from your destiny. If the universe is for you, stop fighting against the flow and start surrendering to divine timing. If it's time to shine, stop dimming your light and start showing up fully, powerfully, unapologetically, as yourself. Each of these truths requires a corresponding action. Knowledge without application is just information. But when you embody these truths, when you live them, when you let them fundamentally change how you move through the world, that's when the real magic happens. That's when your external reality begins to reflect the internal shifts that occurred on October 16th. Third, recognize that you're now part of a global awakening happening on this planet. You're not the only one who found this message on October 16th. There are thousands of chosen ones all over the world who are receiving these same 7 truths today. You're part of a collective activation, a mass upgrade in consciousness, a synchronized awakening of souls who are here to shift the frequency of this entire planet. You're not alone in this. You never have been. And now more than ever, you're connected to a network of light workers who are all stepping into their power at the same time. This collective activation is by design. The universe is preparing a whole generation of awakened souls to step into their missions simultaneously, because the work that needs to be done on this planet is too big for any one person. It requires a community, it requires a network, it requires millions of people who've all received these truths, who've all been activated, who are all committed to living from this higher consciousness. You're part of something so much bigger than yourself. And October 16th is the day you consciously step into your role in this collective mission. Fourth, prepare yourself for resistance. Not everyone will celebrate your activation. Not everyone will be happy that you're stepping into your power. Some people benefited from your smallness, from your doubt, from your confusion. And when you start operating from these 7 truths, when you start shining fully, some people will try to pull you back down. They'll question your changes. They'll mock your growth. They'll tell you you're being too much, too too intense, too spiritual. Let them. Their resistance is not your concern. Their discomfort with your growth is not your responsibility to manage. Your only job is to stay true to what you received on October, to protect your activation, to honor your evolution even when others don't understand it. Remember, the people who are meant to be in your life will rise with you. The ones who aren't meant to stay will naturally fall away. Trust the process of this divine sorting. Fifth, document this moment. Write down what you're feeling right now. Capture the insights that came through as you read these 7 truths. Record the shifts you're noticing in your energy, your perception, your understanding of yourself. Because in the weeks and months ahead, when you're in the middle of your transformation, when things feel confusing or difficult, you'll need to come back to this moment. You'll need to remember what you received on October. You'll need to reconnect with the certainty, the clarity, the knowing that landed in you today. This documentation also serves another purpose. It creates a marker, a before and after. Years from now, you'll look back at October 16th, 2025, and recognize it as one of the most significant days of your life. The day everything shifted, the day you received the 7 truths, the day you activated into your full power. The day you stopped being who you thought you should be and started becoming who you truly are. Before you close this message and step back into your day, I need you to make a sacred commitment, not to me, not to anyone else, but to yourself and to the divine plan that orchestrated this moment. Commit that you will honor what you received today, that you will not let these 7 truths fade into just another interesting spiritual message you once watched, that you will let them change you, transform you, activate you in the ways they were meant. Seek this commitment out loud if you're able. I commit to integrating the 7 truths I received on October 16th. I commit to operating from the knowing that I've already won. I commit to honoring my sensitivity as my superpower. I commit to trusting that I'm exactly where I need to be. I commit to valuing my isolation as the initiation it was. I commit to seeing my struggles as preparation, not punishment. I commit to trusting that the universe is conspiring for me, and I commit to stepping out of hiding and into my full light. I am ready. I am willing. I am activated. Feel the power of that commitment. Feel how it anchors these truths even deeper into your being. Feel how it signals to the universe that you're serious, that you're ready, that you're all in. Finally, I want you to understand the magnitude of what just happened. You didn't just receive information on October 16th. You became a transmission point. You're now carrying these 7 truths as living frequencies in your energy field. And everywhere you go, everyone you encounter, every space you enter, you're broadcasting these frequencies. You're spreading the activation without saying a word. You're inviting others into their own awakening, simply by embodying your own. This is the ripple effect of consciousness work. One awakened person touches 10 people who each touch 10 more people who each touch 10. The activation you received on October 16th doesn't just change your life, it changes every life you touch. Your family will feel it even if they don't understand it. Your friends will notice something different about you. Strangers will be drawn to your energy, and some of them, the ones who are ready, will ask you what changed, and you'll know exactly what to tell them. Share this message with anyone who needs it. There are the chosen ones in your life who are searching for these 7 truths. They're waiting for confirmation that what they're experiencing is real. They need to know they're not alone. They need to receive their October 16th activation. Be the bridge, be the messenger, be part of the divine plan that's connecting awakened souls across this planet. You found this on October 16th because you were meant to. These 7 truths found you because you needed them. And now that you have them, now that the activation has occurred, everything changes. You're not the same person who started reading this message. Something fundamental has shifted. Something essential has opened. Something that was dormant is now fully awake and ready to fulfill its purpose. Welcome to the next level, chosen one. You've been prepared for this moment your entire life. Every experience, every challenge, every victory, every loss, all of it was leading you here to October 16th, 2025. To the moment you received the 7 truths that unlock everything you've been waiting for. Use them wisely, trust them completely, embody them fully, and watch as your life transforms in ways you couldn't have imagined, even in your wildest dreams. October 16th will be remembered as the day everything changed, the day you received what you needed to hear, the day you activated into your full power, the day you stopped hiding and started shining, the day you stepped into the version of yourself you've always known you could become. It's time, your time, and you're finally, completely, undeniably ready. The universe believes in you, your higher self is celebrating you, and your future self is thanking you for having the courage to receive these truths and act on them. Go forward, chosen one, shine your light, live your truth, change the world simply by being fully, authentically, powerfully yourself. This is what you came here for. This is what October 16th activated in you.